I have to just mention right off the bat, I'm very glad that both runners have chosen a link-shaped sprite. It does make looking for the visual cues that I know a lot easier. Nothing wrong with other sprites, but it's just harder for me to know visual cues and everything. Different routes right off the bat. This is fun. We've got Maniacal doing the Skullwoods opener and not Skullwoods. I'm sorry, Lostwoods. There we go. And Muffins doing the Hobo and Hyrule Island check. There we go. They got that. I did not see what was on the island, but I don't think it was anything important as Muffins is at Hobo instead of getting the island. Meanwhile, Maniacal has found some sort of weapon in the form of Bombos, but it looks like Muffins is right on his heels, and we'll be getting that soon as well.
Hey, it worked.
Woohoo!
I wasn't sure if I could just save over the file and have it all automatically work, but it looks like we got week 3 on. No sword. Yet. It's not actually swordless. Everybody's hyping themselves up like it's swordless, but you usually just find one. Look, Maniacal has one right now, just sitting in the Lost Woods. Oh, it's fake.
So I have to say, I've done two practice seeds. One which was one of the practice seeds, and one that I rolled myself, and I had swords within 5 minutes on each seed.
That's how it goes.
Not just swords, but like master sword. So, a couple of clips I had to do without the sword, but it wasn't bad.
I bet we'll be seeing a lot less Fighter Sword Moldorm though, or at least we'll have more hearts when we do. Even less in HMG week when we don't necessarily have access to Moldorm.
Yeah, I'm started relearning some of the HMG glitches, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit worried.
Oh, it's just 4 clips. And a lot of logic. But that's what the mentor's for. So, look at Muffins clipping up Hera using boots clipping only. This is what you have to do when you don't have a sword. I would recommend learning the other Hera clip, where you do it on the other side and you'll have to clip in nearly as many times. And your clips don't have to be very clean either.
Yeah, I learned that one earlier today, and it did seem, if you can get it even remotely close to the right area, it seems to work. And you don't have to worry about accidentally yeeting yourself where Muffins was trying to clip in.
Yeah, you can actually get the yeet on purpose that way if you clip in a little bit higher. Another thing you need a sword for is to use that Bombos medallion that they have. Bombos is always an interesting one because you could get early access to Ice Palace with just the mitts. And Bombos is one of the weapons that can get you through Ice Palace, but it turns out Bottle Merchant had the other one, Fire Rod.
CAC is paying out today. Hook shot, both rods, and a hammer.
Imagine
so far.
Doing CAC.
Just in CAC. Muffins.
Oh.
Why didn't you do Spiral Cave?
Because 3 Heart Spiral Cave is actually terrible.
Okay, that makes sense.
That might have even just been Tam telling him not to do it, because like Spiral Cave is on 3 hearts is, I think, not even in logic in entrance rando because of how bad it is. I think you're expected to at least have a Moon Pearl.
Alright. 2 of the 3 medallions have been found.
Alright. Time for some Pendant Mire action later on. See, Canaperna. No magic to use it, but you got it.
We might not survive to get the... Okay, there's a heart. Well, we're fine. Oh, I forget he has blue mail already.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a weapon to
Muffins,
get... He has to bomb the other mold worms if he wants to even exit, so... Spiral Cave for later, I suppose. This is one of the dangers. You go up the mountain expecting to be able to do your normal plays, but that sword not being in your hand makes it a little bit different. You actually have to think about...
That is nice, though.
Yeah, you actually have to think about, like, can I do this realistically? Rather than just, oh, I can do anything. You get all this power in glitch modes, and suddenly it's taken away. You're vulnerable. Oh, those birds are gonna get you. Oh, well, Maniacal has a hook shot. Hook shot is basically a sword. You can still do your spin speed clips, you just get hook speed instead. And you can defend yourself. Also has both rods.
But no magic. Still.
No magic. Muffins showing us lumberjack. I think it was just some kind of money. One of the rupees that has like a number below it.
Yeah, I think it was just a 50. Not often we see the Fate Flipper out of Hobo. This could be an Ice Rod Cave play.
Yeah, it is. Maniacal is doing it low. Which is not going to put him in the cave, but he doesn't need to. Okay, it looks like he's being redirected. If you're going to do the clip, you might as well do the clip that gets you straight in the cave. And if this clip doesn't agree with you, you can go down much lower and do a much easier version of the clip. But if you're going to do this version, you might as well do it up here. That looks a little low, but I think we'll be okay, yeah. Don't do what I do every time, which is exit and re-enter like it's Pyramid Fairy. It doesn't work the same.
Yeah. Doesn't look like it's much. So, Maniacal setting up a water walk, but only has 72 rupees?
Yeah, I mean, this is basically like the opener where you just accept that you're not doing Zora. But Maniacal hasn't been up the mountain yet, so you could do Zora from the mountain. Now Muffin's finding all the weapons in CAC. That would have made Spiral Cave possible. The meme is always that there's like 5 swords in CAC when you haven't done it. These aren't swords, but they're pretty good weapons. Now the swords are actually here in Waterfall Fairy from Maniacal.
That's going to make Death Mountain a much better experience for Maniacal.
This is quite the kit. Like, GT is pretty open with the Moon Pearl, even without. If you really don't want to do, like, Bowless Eastern, you could go to GT and hope you find one there. I don't know if these runners have... Muffins probably has, but I don't know if Maniacal has learned the bunny versions of the clips that aren't in logic, but are, you know, good sequence breaks if you want to do something like get us maybe a bow out of GT. Or just play without the Moon Pearl until you find good stuff for the stuff that the Moon Pearl is definitely in. Like, Gloveless Ice Palace, not going to come up, but Hammerless Ice Palace could. You know, it's... You never know. Not on this seed, of course, but...
The bunny clips to get into GT are one-frame clips, aren't they?
They are, and they're not in logic. So those would be sequence breaks to hope that you get something that makes the Moon Pearl location better. Which is pretty rare. Usually the best thing you can do is just get your Pearl. Even if it means double dipping Eastern, you're probably saving time.
So, I don't remember where Maniacal went after library. Did we get a dig game or a race game check?
You know, I don't think I saw a desert from Maniacal. I kind of was paying attention to Muffins on the mountain when that happened, so we'll see Muffins go in. It looks like Maniacal also is thinking about desert coming from the other direction. I wonder if there was a soft lock somewhere. Oh yeah, Moon Pearl's just
there's
sitting
a
here.
Moon Pearl. Yeah.
We would know if Maniacal got that. Now GT's in logic. You can even climb it if you get the key.
If you know how to mimic clip.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. I don't know. Maniacal can hover. You can probably mimic clip too.
I don't know, there was a lot of talk in chat or Discord earlier about mimic clipping, and it just seems,
It hardly ever comes up.
yeah.
I wouldn't learn it until your select buffers are... Like, let me put it this way. It's not the best thing you could do with select buffers in this mode. The first thing you should do if you're going to learn select buffers is learn the HMG clips. The dash clips, because they're generally easier than the bomb clips. And then learn the out of logic, like citrus clips and stuff, the ones that get you up
I
the
would have
mountain.
grabbed that magic.
Oh, yeah.
It's gone.
Oh, it's goner. Yeah. Oof. Oof. It's okay. You know that Popos will drop it later. I think they're on the fairy pack, too, so... That's plenty of opportunity to get a full magic heal from Muffins. Look at Maniacal. I'm saving and quitting at the... What? Oh,
Does
no.
he...
I know what's going to
I know-
happen. Maniacal's going to go activate the flute and turn a magic bat and then get the Moon Pearl. This is a very deliberate save and quit. Because getting back up there is not easy. There's an obscure bomb clip you can do that is annoying. It has to, like... The visual cue kind of sucks, and then you have to adjust for subpixels. It's like doing the old methods of Harapot.
Plus, isn't there something to do with, like, a flying enemy that messes up things, too? With that one?
There is, but actually, if there's anything that would mess up the bomb clip, it's checking Magic Bat. Where are you going, Maniacal? You didn't actually get that Moon Pearl. Oh, getting magic for the bat. Oh.
This is...
This is a lot of effort for that.
Yeah. There's got to be a better way to get magic. He picked up a bottle of green goo.
Yep.
Why didn't he just do that?
Well, you might need it later. You never know. Yeah, there's some really interesting interactions between the bomb trajectory and specifically in the overworld. It's actually affected by the last thing you did in the underworld, because the overworld sprites don't usually do anything to that. So, but I can tell you the Maniacal would have been safe for the bomb clip if you knew it, but nobody knows that because it's like the last thing you learn. I don't even really know it. I just YOLO it until it works. But what Maniacal is doing here is perfectly fine, because there's a flute and there's a magic bat. I disagree with getting the full magic, though. Sorry, Maniacal. And the other reason I disagree is that you have an active flute. You can just come back later when you have magic and do that. You already know where your Moon Pearl is. But Fire Out Landmo, you can pick up little magics in there. Alright, what's Muffins doing? It looks like Muffins more or less has done the same things, except not gotten the sword from Waterfall. Also going to activate his flute.
I bet, just guessing here, that Muffins is going to try to wait until they can get enough money for Zora before they go to Waterfall.
That's gonna be a while. I mean, 86 rupees. Doesn't look like money has been flowing. Even with Houlihan, you're not even halfway there. You're like, you need to at least find one of the 300s if you have any hope.
Yeah, this seed has been very stingy with the money. Some seeds are not like this, and yeah.
Not like this. Alright, Maniacal has now done all the chores on the way to Moon Pearl. Will be probably fighting Landmo. Judging by his comment in our chat, spoiler alert, Fire Rod Landmo is gonna come.
Have we seen a map check?
Apparently Maniacal has marked his tracker. Actually, both runners have, so... Hera is a pendant. Green pendant, specifically. It's a very easy green pendant with the hook shot and hammer. I would probably do it.
Yeah, it's a pretty quick dungeon, especially when you can Harapot like these runners can.
Maniacal hasn't even been up the mountain yet, and he can just flute up there and rescue the old man from the other direction. We'll save a little time over Muffins for doing Kakarika early enough to get the flute. There's your magic. That wasn't even the enemy that dropped the magic for Muffins. Something in here is on the actual magic pack. Now, has Muffins found anything exciting here? I don't believe so. We already know Ice Rod Cave. It's nothing. But if Muffins continues this route by fluting to 8, oh, he will not. So that sword could be troublesome. Oh, that fairy. Good thing you're doing the hook speed version. Almost screwed up Muffin's hook shotting, actually. But he was ready for it. Maniacal using a nice little clip to get into back of desert. This does terminate the route, though, so the only thing you can do from there is flute out or save and quit.
I believe, unless he finds a glove on Lamo, there's nothing else for him to do in desert area.
Yeah, he should be done. There's a few, like, little fetch quests you could find here, but yeah, he's gonna be getting this full magic here that he worked so hard for earlier. Good call on picking up the rupee, though. I will happily dunk on Maniacal right now because he was dunking on Muffins in the last restream for decisions made. And I said, well, you can prove your superiority in the next race. It looks like there's an item in here, basement.
Which is accessible.
It is. Nice double hit for Maniacal and land molas. Muffins can return to Spiral Cave now. Still only on 4 hearts, but has a lot more options to defend himself. Yeah, you can't just run through enemies anymore. There's something about starting with the boots but not starting with the sword that just makes you do this. Just run into stuff.
Well, you're used to having that sword when you have boots, so I can understand running into things.
Given that like one of the most popular modes is casual boots, that's very true. And these two, of course, have been doing assured sword overworld glitches, which is just casual boots, but more fun, less standard. So where is Muffins going? Back up the mountain. He's already been inside of this, so he's not going to get checks here. It's going to be the beginning of a play. I think this might actually be a Dark World play, because there's no Zora for Muffins. You can look at Zora Ledge. I don't even think he can splash the lead. I think he's just going to the Dark World here, using the Hammer Pegs portal.
I gotcha. I guess that makes sense.
Maniacal can also potentially give us a peek at Hera Basement. Alright, we got a map check. I saw a pendant ice, but I missed the other one. Pendant ice means it's thieves? Oh, muffins. You gotta do hookshot cave before you do this. He almost clipped off the mountain, which would have been fine if you could swim back up, but doesn't really have a good way of getting swim at all from his equipment.
Gotcha. I forgot I had push to talk on.
Oh.
These runners, you can tell who has a lot of rando experience because their map checks are so fast.
My map checks are still slow, and I've been playing rando since 2018.
I don't get it. It takes me forever to check my map. Yeah.
I just don't mark crystals. It helps a lot. I used to just play without a map tracker, and I would check my map really fast and just hope I remembered correctly. And it's, been a few times where I didn't, and that's always fun. Turtle Rock being the other pendant is spicy, because we already have the rods, but we don't have the cane. The cane could still be, it still will be required for Meyer at the very least, but it could also still be required for GT. I'm not sure we've seen Spectacle Rock Cave. If we did, it was nothing.
Yeah, I think Muffins checked it, but yeah, it's such a fast check that half the time I miss it. So
He probably checked it on his first trip up the mountain. Now you can go to Catfish. But going to Catfish always carries the baggage, or do I also go to Pod? I don't think you do in this seed, given the lack of bow and abundance of better things to do. If I was going to go to Pod, I would probably do it after GT. If the seed lets me do GT. Again with the mimic clipping. If the seed gives me a bow in GT, then I can climb GT and then do Pod.
Well, Catfish wasn't an answer.
Yeah, and Pod was not a choice, so... Mountain Cave usually means going to the Dark World. This point in the game could be GT or Dark World, Overworld, Thieves Town, and Skull. Both of them are good options for Muffins.
We also have Graveyard Ledge and Tomb Raider that we could do in one trip.
Yeah. Oh, it's so easy to put those off, though. And you have all this Dark World to do.
Yeah, I learned...
You learned that, yeah. Leaving the lamp in there, your fire source.
Yeah, I'm still kind of bitter about that one.
Everybody gets that one Sphere 1 check that gets them once, and they don't forget about it for a while. But tell you what, if it wasn't that, it was going to be something else. You're always going to leave stuff behind if you're not playing too thoroughly. And there's always going to be a few races where it screws you. But you don't notice the races where it just saves you a little bit of time here and there and wins you the race. Shovel turning up on Torch in GT. It's an awkward one for Maniacal, but Muffins hasn't done Lamo yet, so it's actually not too bad for him. He could do it on the way to Landmo.
If the mirror turns up, it's a lot better, but as of right now, yeah, it's pretty awkward.
Mirror is one of the required items. And look, there's a bow in GT and a cane. Wow.
This is... wow.
So we're probably going to get to go mode Swamp in the seed because I think, barring Ether, all we need is Flippers and the mirror. They also need swords.
At least one more sword.
At least one more, yeah. Muffins, who knows when Muffins is going to go that one. He actually, bailed at he didn't do Ice Rod Cave at all.
Muffins did find 300 somewhere, so they are getting closer to Zora money. So maybe by the end of GT, they'll have it.
Yeah, that's a good point, is that, the bail out of out of Mini Moldorm Cave. Might have been really playing it safe with Zora. Really wants the money before he goes to that area. And he'll have it. If he does Graveyard Ledge... Well, he'll do Graveyard Ledge into King's Doom, which doesn't get you land. That's the downside. But he's so close to it that he could probably just, like, farm stun prizes or something.
I think stun prize is a heart. I think we saw Maniacal check that earlier.
Wow, good observation. I didn't even look. I was just guessing. Big Key's accessible. I mean, they're all accessible now that the cane is here.
Yeah, with that cane, do you check left side? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're here.
Or right side, I meant. Sorry.
Muffins does,
Right
because you want a sword to climb GT, just because it sucks to climb without one. At least you can use the medallion with the fighter sword.
It sucks to climb with a sword. Yeah. Doing it swordless? No, thank you.
Maniacal looks like he's mostly just retracing Muffin's steps. He is ahead of dungeon, so it's not like he's behind, but we're not really getting any new information out of him. Oh, there's just so much cash in here. Oh, that's not a good... Okay. At least a good recovery into, like, the kind of casual strat for Ice Ormos. Because that could have gone really wrong if you just kept going with the speed strat.
Yeah, for sure. The green ice is kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Ugh, it's throwing me up. Oh, well, GT was all business in the back and party in the front. The reverse mullet.
So you check this.
That is a sword.
Oh, how very nice.
My no logic senses are tingling right now. That is a very dupable sword. Very dupable.
Not legal, Malmo.
Not legal.
Not legal.
We won't be seeing that in this tournament. But if you wanted to get into the real spicy stuff, you can open chests more than once and do things like that. We can actually dupe swords in this mode, but they have to be in the overworld. In certain locations.
Like the dam?
Yeah, dam and bumper ledge are the two I am familiar with. That I at least kind of know the setup for.
Yeah, I remember, I think it was Yoho did a sword dupe at the dam during the No Logic tournament, and everybody was like, what is he doing?
Maniacal. Again, it's you can't really know where somebody is going until they're halfway down the mountain. So we'll see. Again, he could be following Muffins into GT and getting all this stuff. Or he could just be doing Dark World crystals. Oh god, there's a glove here too. We don't need a glove, but it's kind of nice to have.
Yeah, it makes things a lot easier.
Ooh, guess who's not getting this stuff right away? Why is Muffins not climbing GT? I think he's not climbing because he doesn't want to death warp out. If he death warps out, he's not going to be able to start his Dark World loop there because he won't have the real Dark World when he comes out. Also, Fighter Sword climb is kind of terrible. So, just go back in later. Maybe he'll do some overworld and dungeons that Maniacal is doing. And then do GT last, hopefully.
Let's just hope flippers aren't up there. Or mirror.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping them from being there. There's really no logic to follow now. Like, everything they have is in logic. Or at least for Muffins. And everything they're looking for is not really behind anything. Besides itself, if that makes sense. Like, flippers are really just Like, you can at least not go into ice if you find the mirror before flippers and don't have the mitts, but that's really it. The only thing flippers lock is swamp. And then, you know, the logical ice, of course. You could maybe make a case for Pyramid Fairy, but given that the red crystals are accessible, even that's not very useful. If one of the red... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, go. I was just going to
Yeah.
say both runners are here in Skull Woods, but so far there hasn't been anything
No.
of interest.
Both of them on one sword and with a different sword, too, which is interesting. Muffins has the cane, can do the middle room a little faster. Did he just straight up not do it?
Yeah, they skipped it. Looks like they're going to go back to front.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. I like to do that room with it on the way there, just because it's a little awkward to deal with these mummies. But when you have the cane and you don't have the mirror, it actually doesn't matter because you're not mirroring out, so you're not gonna worry about which entrance you came in. And when you have the cane, you don't have to actually do anything. You don't have to put any work into this room. You just go up and use it.
Oh, gross. Fighter Sword Moth, though?
Well, the mirror was here. Muffins is going to get that mirror and then want to mirror out, but mirror out to the wrong entrance. So I'll have to walk out instead, which is kind of funny. I believe Muffins has 2 green potions.
Yes. I picked up another one somewhere.
Yeah, there was a green potion. I couldn't tell you where. I think it was in GT, given that Muffins has it and Maniacal doesn't. His tracker is showing 3 bottles. I didn't even notice a 3rd bottle.
I think there was an empty one somewhere.
This moth fight's gonna be a bit of a chore. Very nicely handled on those hammer hits, though. I think he's just 1 off. Oh, it's always that last hit that's the hardest, though. Maniacal following closely behind. They had to keep going. Alright, is this getting a little dangerous? I would actually be taking out the fire out of here, but it looks like Maniacal has it under control.
Phew. Okay, so... Oh, I'm like, Muffins is skipping the other chest back here, but...
Muffins is
Maniacal.
being reminded to get this chest.
Maniacal's going to save a lot of time
Yeah.
because of that mirror.
Oh, that's a great place to have the mirror. But, I mean, I still... This is the thing, it's like, oh yeah, you can give the lead to Muffins because he found all that stuff in GT, but, like, when you're done with the Darkwood loop, GT is the place you go. Like, there's nowhere else to go that's as good. The only thing that could happen is, like, Maniacal finds a different bow and decides to do Pod and Eastern. Or finds the flippers and does full clear swamp, whereas Muffins has go mode. If the flippers show up in this loop, then Muffins definitely has the lead.
So Maniacal's walking out. Are they potentially going down to Village of Outcasts and doing Thieves Town?
Yeah, I would assume so. It's not easy to get there with the equipment they have. Alright, Muffins. You have the mirror in hand, but you gotta walk, because the mirror takes you to the wrong door. Love to see it. This is like the one thing that Muffins could have found that makes doing this on the backswing worse. The mirror also makes the shovel, like you said earlier, very checkable for Muffins. The Maniacal will have already been in the area and will have thoroughly orphaned it.
No, because you can... He hasn't checked Stumpy. Or...
Maniacal doesn't have the shovel, though. The shovel is in GT.
Oh, no, he doesn't.
So
you're
he'll
right.
do Stumpy in Hype Cave and then get the shovel.
That's right. Oh. Well, let's hope it's not the race winner, you know?
Yeah, we don't want to
The thing
see
that, yeah.
that kind of swing. I want to see this be a sword hunt. It's not going to be a sword hunt for Maniacal, though. We'll go to GT and find Master, but it could be that Maniacal's behind when that happens. Muffins is in go mode already, but doesn't have a sword, and that could even things up.
Yeah, with all these dungeons available, the crystal dungeons no less, it's hard to go back to that Waterfall Fairy Zora area.
There are 2 other swords. This is overworld glitches. This is not swordless overworld glitches. So
Very true.
there might just be one in pod, and then this whole thing didn't matter.
Thieves Town with Fighter Sword is kind of a scary thing, but they have blue mail and a decent amount of hearts, so it's not as bad.
This is comfy for anyone who's run all dungeons RNG. But if you're used to NMG, yeah, it could be a little bit different. It's not too bad. You have to be aware that the Zazaks aren't going to die. But the crickets were already not dying, so that doesn't change.
So far, there's been nothing here. Okay, so Muffins has gloves, so he can go the regular way.
Ooh. Gloves are nice.
Gonna have to go around.
Gloves are nice. I guess we start thinking about Ice Palace logic, don't we? If we had to start going into pendant dungeons looking for the flippers, we don't do ice until we have mitts. Because the mirror wrap is not in logic, but the flipper wrap is. But the other logical way in is to fake flipper and use the rock portal.
I always forget the mirror wrap is not in logic because that's the one that I know.
It's the flipper wrap shouldn't be in logic either. It would be easier to remember if the flipper wrap was not in logic, because then you could just say that those stupid wraps aren't in logic. But because the mirror wrap is easy and in the speedrun, it's easy to just take it for granted that you can do it. Not really consider about whether the flippers can actually be here. Muffins got a significant lead over Maniacal just from having better equipment in Thieves. Namely the glove, but...
So I'm trying to think, what are the checks that Maniacal has done that Muffins hasn't?
Maniacal is...
Waterfall?
Done Waterfall, completed Desert.
Oh, Desert, okay.
But it's just Desert. Like, I do think Muffins has done more. Maniacal did spend a little bit of extra time getting that magic for Magic Bat. Muffins hasn't. I don't think has actually checked Magic Bat. If he was going to do it, he'd do it now. This would be a perfect time to pull out that new, like, funny auto-walk thing that Dawn found to get you into Hammer Pigs. And then use the hookshot escape to get out. That would be faster than swimming from the pyramid.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Looks like we're gonna... No.
We're gonna do Magic Bat with the mirror. So we're not doing Hammer Pigs. Because if we were gonna do it, we'd do that first. Muffins might not know it. The glitch is brand new. Like, there were ways to get in here before, but they were kind of crappy and easy to softlock. The thing Dawn came up with is free. Everyone should learn it just because it's easy, but it's not been known for more than a month, so it's perfectly understandable to think that like not everybody has actually had a chance to even be aware it exists yet. I mean, I think Chex Human was like watching me and was like, "What is that?" Like, "Oh, it's the new glitch." So even the top runners still take some time to catch up on the new tech. I don't think it even got posted to the main Discord. We should probably do that.
Like, I think I've done it once, but I don't remember how it goes.
Yeah, it would be easy enough that if I was mentoring you in a race, I could walk you through it on the fly. It's pretty hard to mess up, too, in a way that matters. Oh yeah, we gotta think about the Ether Medallion. Come on, Maniacal, show it to us. Oh, the book is here. That's a kind of an awkward one to check. It's not as close as you might think. It's Bombos.
Oh, it's Bombos. Okay. Oh, I'm like, you can't check that.
Oh, Muffins can. Muffins can go a mirror and check the glove. Ooh, is Muffins gonna beat the timer? Yes.
Nicely done.
Muffins getting his information. So now knows for sure that he is in Sword and Flipper's go mode. The book is probably not relevant to Muffins. Because like Sword go mode is pretty likely for him.
Bombos tablet is like right here though.
It's not though. You'd think it is. You think you could just pop over a mirror, but there's all this annoying collision and water to contend with, especially without the flippers. That you're actually better off just fluting to 7 and checking it from there. Every time I've tried mirroring from the Meyer area, I just regret it so hard. And if you try to mirror in the wrong spot there, you can get a hard lock. So here's where Maniacal will get some time back on Muffins. Muffin's going to clear Desert Palace here, while Maniacal shows us some new checks. Why are we doing stun prizes? I'm trying to think of what could Maniacal possibly want. I wonder if he's just getting mentor routing discussion going on and doesn't actually know what to do next. And it's just killing time. Does Maniacal not know the swim clip?
Like, isn't it faster to do the swim clip and just check the item as you're swimming by it?
If you're not doing the swim clip now, you probably just don't know the swim clip. But it is in logic with the mirror and with the... Okay, we are doing the swim clip.
I'm like, it's fairly easy. It's easy to screw up too, but it's fairly easy.
No, you're right. It's probably just not realizing that you can check the item. If you screw it up in the way that doesn't hard lock you, but you still like move your camera, you can't check the item on the way. So your camera will be off center from the screen. The item will be out of range. Oh, perfect entry. Are we going to mirror into the escape at the sub-hour?
That is an option. Nobody's checked Uncle.
I could make an argument for Muffins not mirroring here. Because you do GT climb first, and then you do the escape. Oh, Muffins. Alright, PSA. Don't mirror inside the circle of rocks if you have the gloves. You're just making things harder for yourselves. Oh yeah, Muffins can do Mire. This is going to be a terrible video fight, though.
Oh.
No cape either, so you can't abuse the cape and spins. You have to do just straight...
Cana Burna.
You can't even do that.
You can't do Cana Burna?
Because you cannot spin your sword while you have Cana Burna out. And you can't damage Viddy with the slashes. So Muffins has to use the fighter sword, hammer, bow, or bombs to damage Viddy. Unless something turns up here. It's still worth it,
Oh,
though.
yeah,
Like,
that is so bad.
at least he has, like, safety. He's not gonna die. It's just gonna take forever.
We have brand new checks on each screen, and I don't know who to watch.
Well, Muffin's got a Godmire, so if Maniacal has GT items go mode, then he gets to go mode this dungeon. Assuming he doesn't... nobody's gonna do... Oh, it's a glove here! In the escape.
Oh.
But the glove doesn't do anything. It's Ice Palace is a pendant, so it's the only thing that requires a glove. But it's still interesting. What makes it really interesting is it puts Ice Palace in logic, but they don't know that yet. Each of them has half of the logic of Ice Palace.
Muffins, there's a full magic. I guess if you don't want to check the next room.
No, you should still use your fire rod here, because there's a full magic before Vidi, too.
Oh yeah, on the bridge. Before you go downstairs.
Maniacal deciding it's faster, which it probably is, to do the back of escape now than to save and quit and do it from the sanctuary. I think he's right. I think this is the correct thing to do. You're already in Darkcross. You would only skip this if you think Darkcross can be skipped, but I think the map may have turned up. Ooh. Oh, you could have reflected that with your mirror shield.
Oh heck, I didn't even notice Muffins had mirror shield.
Yeah. They found it in Thieves Town, I think.
Alright, escape was not the answer. Oh, except for there's that one glove.
The glove. It's not what you want to see.
No, but it doesn't really do anything.
It doesn't do anything for them, but it does something for us, which is tell us that Ice Palace can have the flippers. Alright, this might be GT for Maniacal. So this is going to put them on even footing. Muffins has had a more efficient clear of the Dark World because of the GT play. But if Maniacal never goes back to it, then it's a time loss for Muffins. The most efficient way to do a check is to not do the check. Ooh, half magic. You don't come back for that, do you?
It's not if you're comfortable with...
You have the lamp for Ganon, so you can do Master Sword Silverless pretty safely.
Yeah, and you can also... Somebody's picked up... I've seen a blue potion. Plus, they've both got green goo. So, yeah, I'd say no. You don't go back for that.
It's nice, but it's not that nice.
Yeah.
It's just nice enough that I wouldn't, fault you for getting it. Be like, you know, it's... Oh, you gotta do surprise on the eyes, Muffins. Let's do it. Come on. Oh, we're gonna see it. You guys...
What are we gonna see?
Oh. If you leave a stun prize on the ground there, Vitreous will drop the stun prize. Watch. I mean, it might take a while for any of these to die. It's not going to be impactful. It's just one heart, but it's still cool. And Muffins must have known about this because he had full health when he was doing these stun prizes. I wonder if Tam has anything to do with this. Tam definitely knows about prize on the eyes. It's a Tam thing to know about for sure. All right. You never use your last bomb. That's the cardinal rule. Okay, now you take out the blue potion. Muffins. Unless we have a fairy I don't know about.
Oh, jeez. I don't remember a fairy.
Don't count on the prize on the eyes. You know what's really cool about prize on the eyes? If the stun prize is a fairy, the Vitreous Lightning will automatically put the fairy in a bottle. It like runs the catching routine.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's the prize.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, you gotta boomerang it for 2. Oh, you didn't get 2. Prize on the Eyes is really cool. It's not actually good, unless it's fairies. Look at that.
Meanwhile, Maniacal's just clearing out GT.
That heart saved Muffin's life, by the way. I'd like to point out that he went down to 1 heart on that lightning strike while trying to get the other prize on the eye heart.
So there was nothing in Meyer either. But it's just another crystal, which is nice that it's done.
It is another crystal. Maniacal will have a faster, but significantly less cool Vitreous fight.
Oh yeah, because Maniacal will be on Master, so he can just do the dashy.
Yeah, the burn and dashes. The cape was here on this Stumpy. Muffins would have liked to have that, but still,
Here's our shovel check.
We got to see prize on the eyes. Alright, shovel is actually kind of useful for Muffins, being bombs. But not going to be painful for Maniacal to leave behind. He'll probably never come back to that, unless he's really desperate. So I guess what happens for Muffins is he goes to Eastern and Pod. He either does it out of the pyramid or he goes back to GT, but I think he's committed to doing GT last for the time save. Still on Fighter Sword as well. So whatever reason he had for leaving GT, he probably still has the reason. Alright, there's Maniacal's sword. So first to sword. First to true Flippers Go mode. We really need Muffins to find the flippers in one of these crystal dungeons for it to be close, but also we kind of need Muffins to find a sword, because if Muffins finds the flippers in the crystal dungeon, Maniacal's going to find it too, but Maniacal will actually be in go mode and Muffins won't. If it's in a pendant dungeon, it's just like anybody's game. Oh, we're just having Armoses all over the place. Here's Muffins going to Pod. It's okay. Next week they don't have to think about how they're getting to Pod. It's like a weight off your back.
Kiki Skip is so much fun.
So nice. You just go to the mountain. It's yet another mountain check. Just like the Dark World and just like GT and Hookshot Cave.
Kiki Skip is actually one of the glitches I practiced today that I had like no problems with. It was so nice.
The cool thing about Kiki Skip is there's like 2 ways to do it. Why are we leaving GT?
Just climb.
Climb.
You have.
I mean, and do right side.
Yeah, you have right side.
Did Maniacal not do right side?
No.
Oh.
They only did left. They got big key and all the items on the left, and then they left.
Okay, in their defense, Pod and Eastern is pretty nice. Because their dungeons are probably going to full clear anyway. Like, Eastern is just linear. Pod is big key hunt. GT is... everything that's left in GT except for the climb is kind of trash.
Just another glove, which is...
I would have still done the climb because the climb puts you near Pod. But then again, so does Flute to 5, so fine. It's going to be a close race if flippers are here. If there's a sword here too. But again, like this is... Maniacal is going to have pretty significant advantage if he continues skipping the things that Muffins has done that led to nothing.
Oh, we're getting a Saha check really quick.
Yeah, we would have seen Muffins turn that in as well. It wasn't anything good.
Just garbage. Imagine that. Grandpa's hoarding garbage in his closet.
So, the funny thing about Maniacal not doing GT is he didn't find the glove that's in right side. Which means he still doesn't know that Ice Palace can have the flippers.
And neither does
And
Muffins.
neither does Muffins.
That's really gross if it does. If Ice has the flippers. Blech.
Oh. Don't comment on this.
I am trying not to. I don't want to shame anybody. I don't. I really don't.
It happens to everyone, Twin.
I know it's happened to me too. And I run NMG. I should know better.
I've not been counting items in pod. Maniacal's gonna go for the rail hover here. The rail hover saves a ton of time if you can pull it off, but it's one of the hardest hovers you can do in the game. That isn't just like stupidly long. I guess I could say it's the most technical hover that's useful in rando. Looks like he's one of those try it once people. You don't want to bleed time on something that's supposed to save time. It's just
No,
not
not
going to
at all.
save time if you don't get it first try. It's also not too bad to do this when you have the mirror and hammer and cane and all that. Like the cane specifically because you could do the stair launch out of here.
I've never done the stair launch.
Well, the stair launch is nice. It's not like a high priority though. Muffins did a slash that was not beneficial. Lost rhythm and gifted with greenies. Pardon my NMG. Oh, you gotta cancel stair drag there if you want to not get hit. You know, I didn't even think about the fact that they're in different dungeons. So we're gonna really quickly find out if the flippers are here or not.
Yeah, we haven't seen him in Eastern yet.
Well, Muffins is in Eastern.
Oof. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We haven't seen him in Eastern.
Oh yeah, we haven't seen the
haven't seen him
flippers.
in pod.
I thought you meant
Yeah,
the
we
runners. Wait.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Maniacal counting keys, finding out the hallway is in fact a key. Now this is where the mirror is really nice to have, is being able to just get out of dark maze. Big key is here too. This would be an awful place for the big key if you had to hammer jump. Meanwhile, just the ether medallion for Muffins on Armos. So even if that was the medallion for Meyer, it would have been pretty free.
He must have been counting items because he didn't check the big chest.
Huh.
Maniacal. Sorry.
Yeah. Wow. Good call. I wouldn't have counted that well. He does have his tracker. I actually cut off the part where he's counting items in the lower row, but you can see in like the Light World dungeons that he can count items. So he might actually be using the tracker to do that, being a little bit more meticulous, which is hard to do. It's hard to play and track at the same time.
It really is.
And you can't auto track that. You can actually see his cursor going. Like he's doing all this by hand at screen transitions and cutscenes. You could have your mentor track for you, but then you won't be in the habit of doing it during bracket races. So while it is legal, it's not really advised.
While each runner is kind of doing the other things that the other runners already done, how are the brackets going to be working? Are we going to start with overworld glitches sort of shirt again, or how are we? How are the modes going to play
I've
out?
forgotten, and I should probably know because I'm the tournament admin. I will get back to you on that very soon. I thought you were going to say while they're in pod, follow the runners.
Oh yes, follow the
And
runners.
follow Twin, who's helping me calm this race.
That's not as important. Follow the runners.
Twin is also a runner. Booyah.
Shh.
I just Uno reverse carded you. Meanwhile, I'm frantically looking up the rules of this tournament that I'm running.
I'm sorry, Malmo.
It's probably just HMG. I had to look. Playoffs will begin the week after Swiss ends. What's the mode? Did we not think about this?
Uh-oh. Well, at least we're bringing it up now. So admins can figure it out?
Oh, it's a best of 3 HMG bracket. We did figure it
Okay.
out. I just didn't look.
Okay. See.
Just an HMG tournament, guys. Which is actually, there's actually going to be an HMG tournament later on. Every other year we do HMG and no logic. Unless we can think of something more exciting that's also not like no Moon Pearl major glitches, which will have like 2 people in it. Just a bracket of me and Mr. Buyer.
I have to say, I did really enjoy the no logic tournament that was last year.
The no logic tournament was a lot of fun, and it's very, very doable to learn no logic in the time it takes to. Even if the no logic tournament was this year, you could learn it in time. But it's nice to have at least like a year of experience under your belt, just because you get good at the glitches. You stop thinking about the overall glitches. It leaves you some brain space to think about the more complicated stuff. Muffins also counting items. Or
Yeah.
Tam count. Tam is really good at counting items, actually. Could have just been Tam.
It must be Compass because the map is on Helmasaur.
Yeah, it's clearly it was map and compass because they knew like before they killed Helmasaur that it was not an item. So yeah, it's Pod and Eastern completely empty. Both runners doing it though, so it doesn't matter. What does matter is what do they do next? I think climbing GT is the only good option. I would question anything else that they would do, personally. You could make an argument for Back of Escape for Muffins, because he has the gloves. Hasn't done it yet. Probably, if it were me, I'd be doing GT into Escape if I was Muffins, putting off the GT climb. If I was Maniacal, I would do right side and then GT climb.
Yeah, that does seem like the most dense play.
And then Pendant Dungeons, but TR is pretty dense. You would do TR first because you actually don't know that ice is in logic, given what you're missing. Maniacal will probably exit GT with the mitts. If I had that, I would actually do Smith Chain first, because Smith Chain's relatively quick with the flute and the mirror.
And Purple Chain is part of Smith Chain, right? Or Purple Chest, I meant, sorry.
Yes. Smith Chain is really just 2 locations. I actually don't know if we saw Hammer Pigs. Both of them could have done it, and they didn't. So that would be part of
we
Smith
still
Chain.
have Hammer Pegs, yeah. Okay.
That's fine for both, because they'll both get the mitts if they do all the density checks in the order that we kind of expect them to. I think dashing in Cannonball Room is a trap, by the way.
It really is. It's like dashing the cannonball
In the front.
lane in the front, yeah.
I bet it barely even saves time when you do get it. Because you have to cardinal up to dash. You could just diagonal and pump. Probably not really be any slower. We resorted to talking about pumping in a glitched race.
Ugh. Malmo, what have we done?
Ooh. Another Armos. With a capital A for Maniacal.
Well, where do we go?
Look at these synced crystals, though. I love to see them both finishing out their checks at the same time. So both of them are just going to leave and go to their respective locations. I think Muffins could actually probably do Ice Rod into Zora, etc., which should give him the sword.
Maniacal, where are you going?
Where is Maniacal going? This could be the Ice Palace play,
Could be Meyer.
which would be kind of crazy. Oh yeah, it's got to be Meyer. He hasn't done Meyer yet. So Muffins is ahead then by a dungeon.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
here's Graveyard
Graveyard
Ledge.
Legend Kingston. Cleaning up your sphere
We're gonna
ones.
get Bravo, too.
Oh yeah. Looks like Muffins doesn't actually know how to do this with the fighter sword. That was interesting. Oh no, don't do it with the guard. You have to act quickly, Muffins. Yeah, you're on a time limit here. If you get that RNG, you need to be quick. Is this gonna Houlihan? Nope, okay. It looks like he fixed his camera. Didn't see it happen. This is fine because King's Tomb was 1 check and Back of Escape was 3.
Okay, he's gonna check checkerboard as well. Maniacal is.
Yeah, so
No,
Maniacal,
never mind.
I'll do it afterward.
Never mind.
He's gonna do Meyer and then checkerboard and then shovel. He's giving a
Okay,
ton of time
okay.
back to Muffins, though, by doing the
Yeah.
checks that he skipped, which was pretty predictable. I would still go to GT if I was him. I don't understand what their aversion to climbing GT is in this seed. Muffin's showing us the traditional way in King's Tomb, which is to lift a rock that you're not supposed to be able to lift. It's nothing. I think that's all of Sphere 1 for, at least for us. Both runners have left items in Sphere 1, still. Oh, Zora. That's still outstanding. Alright.
Yes,
Muffins, if you're
yes,
gonna be
that's
playing
not
like this,
Zora.
you gotta do Waterfall Zora too.
This might be Mirror Wrap into Pyramid Fairy.
It might be, but I'm really
Or it could
hoping
be
it's just the
GT.
GT climb. Just do the GT climb. Because then you can do Pyramid Fairy after. And the escape. Yeah, this is GT climb. This is huge for
Okay,
Muffins
okay.
if it ends up being the flippers. Maniacal is going to choose the Godmire. Maniacal grinds the hover hack before every race. So it's no surprise that he's able to pull off this one.
He's very confident. He's already marking Meyer done.
Wow, that's dangerous. It's fine. He's probably doing it while hovering. Tracking with his toe. Or hovering with his toe. I don't know which one's more impressive. By the way, if you're ever watching somebody hover on stream and they have face cam on, watch their face because they usually shake and it's pretty funny to see.
I'm sure they have some funny faces sometimes too.
They always look like they're on like a I don't know, like a carnival ride. Or like a rocket ship going up.
Yeah. I get you.
You know. Get the teeth chattering. I mean, they are, you know, traversing space in a way.
Okay, if you're Maniacal, do you go back in?
I mean, if you're doing things like Mambo's tablet, I think you do. I don't think you can afford to leave things behind and come back here a third time. Godmire is also kind of a low percent chance of the item being on the boss just because of the way key logic works in Mire. If you find a big key in the front, there's usually a small key behind the big key, unless there's also a small key in the front. Or I should say there's always a small key behind the big key, but there's 2 places that are behind the big key. So it can be an item on the boss, but it's probably not.
I was worried about Muffins' magic, and then I remembered that they have 2 potions, so...
They got a whole potion shop under their belt. Look at that! Mirror shield reflect, let's go! Did you see that?
I did see that. Very, very satisfying.
The mirror shield, it does something. Take that, Lana Bean. Oh, not like this, Maniacal. Doing the big key chest. When it's probably an item. There's a 50-50 chance.
Ah.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty good play. Because the other 50-50 is you do all the other chests, which is also slow. There it is.
Best boom?
Where are you going, Michael? Oh, you haven't found the other item. Oh, it was more than a 50-50 chance. I forgot that we were only 1 item deep. Yeah, no. The big key chest was a statistically probable item. It was just unlucky. Meanwhile, Muffins, 1 last chance for this to actually be good. I've been telling them to do this the whole time, and it's actually not good.
It's...
no
at least
flippers.
it's done.
It's not even a sword?
No, nothing up here.
Where are the swords? Are they all in TR and Swamp? They must be, right?
Ew.
They are always in Swamp. I mean, that's the meme, right?
Oh, that's so bad.
But I see swords in TR a lot, too. It's a pretty dense location. Maniacal is probably talking to Tam about what to do next. You gotta do the shovel, at least.
Talking to Orange.
Sorry, Orange. That would be cheating. You only get 1 mentor per race. You definitely don't get your opponent's mentor. I just realized that 2 out of 4 people in this race are named after food.
Oranges and muffins. Mmm.
Yeah, that's a good part of this complete breakfast.
Technically, Tam is kind of named after...
Okay, you can have Tim Tams. Tim Tams. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
We got 3 foods here.
Is it Malmo's dinner time?
Oh no.
Is that why we're talking about food? Okay, where are the flippers?
They're not here. Are we just gonna be retreading steps? They gotta go into pendant dungeons now, right? Muffins is not doing the escape. Oh, gonna do this first. That makes sense.
Gonna do the swim.
You gotta do the swim, and then you gotta do the escape and find the glove. Maniacal and Muffins are basically racing who finds their logical Ice Palace entry first. You can see how the pledge item is not visible when the screen is in this state. Which is fine, because Muffins already looked at it. Maniacal is also cleaning up Sphere 1s, but struggling a little bit with Graveyard Ledge. Did not get the subpixel set up, just went straight off the edge.
He didn't do the
Yeah, didn't do the. I like
We
to
didn't
call it
go
like
down
this
the ledge.
the skateboard rail grind.
Yes, that.
Yeah,
That's exactly what that is.
you gotta do it as like the cool bunny Link, the skateboarding bunny, which is a sprite now.
It is.
Okay, he got it. Alright, this is gonna get... It's just gonna be a bit of a waiting game for us, because we've already seen everything they're doing. I expect Muffins would... I don't know. Probably do Ice and Zora at the same time? I don't know if you can, because you don't have the flippers.
Unless Zora has them.
You could... If I don't know if this is faster, but you could walk out of Zora with your water walk if you don't end up getting the item. There was a mushroom
That's
somewhere.
a mushroom?
Where was that? Oh no, I wasn't paying attention.
I don't know. Was that... Did Muffins not check, like, Big Chest and Meyer or something?
Well, Muffins may have turned in the mushroom when we weren't looking.
It's true.
Because you can turn in the mushroom, and if you're auto-tracking, it'll untrack it for you. If you're not, you can just untrack it yourself. For Maniacal, Mountain probably means return to GT. Which is going to be even bigger time loss for him because he hasn't done the right side. Unless you're fixing your camera. You don't fix your camera for GT. Oh,
Like
Ether Tablet.
Ether Tablet. He's going to get half magic. We do also have... There's an item in Hera Basement.
There's an item in Hera Basement. Well, there's... Okay, Muffins is the first to Mitts. Which is a given that Maniacal didn't go right to GT.
Oh, we're going to get a basement check.
It could be it. I hate it, but it could be it. I respect the decision not to do this until now. I think there were tons of better things to do, at least until you ran out of crystals. And I still can't believe that Muffins hasn't found another sword.
I know, like, where... I mean, we haven't touched GT. Or not GT.
TR?
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock and Swamp are the big sword locations left to us. What even is left to us, actually, besides Ice Palace and TR? And Hera Basement.
I'm trying to think.
And Pedestal. That count that as Ice Palace and TR.
Oh, Ped might be a thing.
Yeah, I had a Ped seed yesterday. It was great. It was the ice rod. Nice single finger in the Hera Basement.
That's like the ultimate insult there.
At least if you're gonna get insulted, get properly insulted. And not get 10 arrows. 10 arrows is just boring. Muffins is doing it, getting the sword, and maybe the flippers from Zora? We'll see. This could be feels bad Orphan Zora seed because you don't get any money in the early game. You can at least expect your opponent probably orphaned it too.
And then Maniacal's going right side and...
Right side and climb, so there's really no chance for Maniacal to find go mode. Muffins has tons of opportunity to find go mode. I think this is a lead for Muffins just based on the fact that there's nothing left for him to do that Maniacal hasn't done, that has already done. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Muffins doesn't have as much opportunity to lose time as Maniacal does. The only way that this swings is if they both go independent dungeons and one of them chooses Ice and one of them chooses TR.
I don't know, those early rods, though, they're like tempting you. Like daring you to go into TR.
Yeah, I probably would have done TR before most of these like one-off overworld locations. But it's really easy to just sink a bunch of time in there and find nothing as well. Maniacal will do tile room. Did we see this from Muffins?
I'm trying to remember if we did. I don't think we did.
This looks like it might be TR for Muffins. Oh, we are getting the half magic. I respect it. Especially if your next play is TR. It was a key. You couldn't have known that until you climbed. It wasn't like a guaranteed key. Or Orange would have known. Orange and Tam are both really good at reading key logic in dungeons. I didn't know you could hook across like that.
I didn't either.
But also, like, it was still 3 hearts of damage. So you just do the NMG strat. You're not really gaining anything by hooking. Oh, are we book wrapping? Oh, Muffins! What is this setup?
I don't know. I wasn't going to say anything.
Look, it worked.
It worked, yeah.
But there was some manual pixel lineupping, and setup shouldn't require that. So Muffins must just know the pixel and not do the setup, which is fine. That's how we used to do it. Not that exact way, but we used to just line up a pixel. Laser Bridge is basically Hype Cave, right? It's got 4 checks.
Hype Cave with lasers.
And maps and compasses and small keys.
And green rubies.
It's a little bit diluted. The green ruby is one of the vanilla items in Laser Bridge.
That's a kick in the teeth. How rude. Here, you've survived this whole game.
You get a green rupee, you get a blue rupee, you get a
rupee.
red rupee, and then you get a key.
That's just bad.
Oh, you should see what's on the other side of Left Side Swamp. It's a blue rupee.
Man, these
You went the
makers are
wrong way.
evil.
Haha, here's the rupee.
That's just evil, man.
Yeah, that chest is definitely there to troll you. And it's the one you can see when you're in that room, so you're like, oh, I gotta go that way, right? Oh, what a waste of god pokies. Does that make your NMG brain cry?
It does. Every time I go through this room backwards and I get god pokies, I'm just like, oh, why?
Pour one out for the NMG run that didn't get god pokies because of you.
Is this a mimic cave?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, if your priority isn't killing the pendant boss, might as well do Mimic Cave. Then if you get the big key, you can mirror back into big chest. And then you could just save and quit and do Trinex if you have to. I'm not really sure if this is better than doing Trinex first and then Mimic Cave, but it's I don't think it's worse either. I think it's just a matter of preference. And look, they're here. The Mimic Cave.
That's disgusting.
Well, why are you leaving? Oh, we're gonna flute. We're going to mirror and flute because we're in the dark world. Okay, we're gonna flute. I think Palette Shuffle messes with people when it comes to what world you're in. I think Muffins legit believed that he was in the dark world there. Alright, well, this is Muffins' game to lose. So, not only does Maniacal have to finish GT, but he has to immediately beeline to Mimic Cave and not do anything on the way to be in contention for this race.
I don't see that happening.
So I think ultimately what this came down to was Muffins just had a more efficient clear of the Dark World, having gone to GT first and finding a bunch of items.
I'm trying to think. Was Mimic Cave available when they did Hookshot Cave? I don't think so.
No, they didn't have the mirror yet. Mimic Cave was available
Okay.
as soon as they got mirror. I mean, there's gonna be some people who are like, oh, technically you can, like, do this stupid zip glitch. And you don't do that from the Dark World, so you need the mirror to get out of the Dark World. Take that, hypothetical hypotype. I mean, hypothetical person in chat.
Are they just checking for a sword?
Yeah, because there's one here.
Lucky.
Duh.
Oh,
You've been everywhere else. Of course there's a sword here. I think this is a good play. Like, of course there's a sword here. If it's not here, where is it? It's probably a sword in the waterfall chest, too. Yeah, no, there could be a sword in ice front of TR, but I think you still check that one. At least you check Diver down in waterfall.
Like the ones on the way, yeah.
They're also missing silvers. Like, there's a pretty good chance they're gonna find something good here. Yeah, it's pretty hard to catch up to somebody who has Tempered Sword and is in go mode. Well, it looks like Maniacal is actually going the right way, though, at least. But if he does what Muffins does, he'll probably actually kill Trinex and then get Mimic Cave. Now, I don't know about continuing to open chests. Maybe the silvers and Diver down. I would run past Waterfall. It looks like Muffins is opting for it. Just a compass. Maniacal getting a more conventional setup from Mirror App, but misses the actual inputs, which is impossible.
Yeah,
Hit two
very
buttons at the same
understandable.
time. It's impossible.
Yeah. It's so hard.
It's the easiest thing in the world, and it's the hardest thing in the world.
Could they be getting some on-the-fly?
No, I mean,
Or just taking
there's nothing
some-
to say about hitting the buttons at the same time. It's just hard to do, especially if you're hitting it with two thumbs.
Oh, Muffins stepped above Argus as he jumped up.
The refill frames. It hurts. He dropped the crystal.
It shattered! No!
It broke. Alright, we got the mirror wrap. It's not enough because Muffins is going to Ganon right now. Maniacal would still have to do pretty much all of TR and go mode Swamp. And also find the Tempered Sword in Swamp to be anywhere near as fast in the Ganon fight. He could also find the Tempered Sword here if he takes a more conventional Trinex first route. Does Muffins not know 1-in-1 Ganon? Guess not.
Oh.
That was one of the last things I learned too. I didn't learn it until I was forced to because the speedrun I would just die if I didn't 1-in-1. Especially in Rando where you always have the cape. You can just pull out the cape and get a nice little 2-in-1 for very little time cost.
And with half magic, it's even nicer.
Yeah, there's really nothing to... You don't have to worry about optimizing this fight. Of course, Muffins doesn't know he's this far ahead, but Like, surely we haven't had races end less than 20 seconds apart, right? Surely. We didn't have 2 in the last round.
Oh, jeez. I didn't realize there were that many that were that close.
There were 2, yeah. I couldn't vodcast one of them because the VOD was broken.
No.
Yeah, it was like internet cut out in the middle and there's no timer, so I wouldn't have been able to sync it. But that... Oh, come on, Muffins. Oh, he got the torch glitch. That was so monk-ass. Oh, yeah. A little off there. As long as you don't fall, you're fine. I mean, you can fall like 5 times and be fine, but it's not good for the psyche.
No, it's really not. A death loop or fall loop in Ganon is just so hard to get over.
Looks like Muffins might not be super practiced at the Ganon fight. But knows the principle at least. Okay, here's Maniacal going to Mimic Cave before Trinex.
Okay.
So that's good. That's good for him. It's not just that this race is over, like Muffins has killed Ganon and about to walk through the Triforce room, but we do calculate scoring a little bit. Tiebreakers based on time difference between you and your opponent. And the cutoff is 15 minutes. Anything more than 15 minutes is the same as a forfeit. So if you are in go mode now and all you have left is Swamp, it is worth continuing on.
Gotcha.
We'll see if he... Yeah, we'll see if he ends up with the Master Sword Silver's fight, though. But this will be like a, you know, probably less than 10 minutes difference. Depends on whether he gets the sword or not. I feel like Maniacal would skip this. Maniacal's timer stopped. I never noticed that.
Oh, I wonder why.
He must have hit a button by accident. I was gonna comment on how quick this was. I realized it wasn't that quick. Oh no! Okay. He was gonna get the sword and he threw the bomb the wrong way and said, screw it. So, no sword. Oh, that's tragic. Probably just not... His heart wasn't even in it, probably, for getting that chest. Like, I'm not sure I should be getting this. I just pulled the bomb out of habit. Let's just throw it to the side and continue on. First sword from Muffins was 26 minutes.
That's a long time to go swordless.
I mean, Maniacal got his significantly faster.
I forget how bad the Master Sword Argus fight is.
Oh gosh, that's almost losing as much time as not having it for Ganon. I mean, not really, but it feels bad.
At least it's not Fighter Sword where you have to switch to hammer.
You can spin with the fighter sword. You can get double spins, but you can also miss the double spin and get singles, so it's not actually the same as Master Sword like people will say, but it's usually faster than doing the hammer. There's a really cool rando strat you can do where you quick swap to silvers. It's dangerous because right next to silvers is the mirror.
Ooh.
So I would only recommend it in like Enemizer, and you're in there without the mirror. Or, you know, what's another mode where you don't need mirror for Swamp or for Argus? Hybrid Major Glitches.
Oh, my brain's gonna hurt after this.
You're gonna love it.
That's okay, Maniacal. You don't want beams on Ganon anyway. Beams are bad.
They're loud. Let's see if Maniacal has any, like, cool Master Sword strats. Looks like he was kind of going for the Trident Spin, but didn't quite get it. It's, needless to say, a lot harder to get a Trident Spin with Master Sword. Because you get so much knockback from the first hit.
Yeah. I've seen people use, well, there was one.
There was one.
Last night.
Yeah, you can continue Trident Spinning in Phase 1.
I've seen people use the, Samaria block as, like, a swap.
That's what I was kind of hoping to see. This isn't really a good spot for it. But it looks like he's going for capes. You want to see Ganon go to the bottom with only one tile gap between him and the floor, which is not what happened here. I think Maniacal's just going to abuse magic and cape. He has 50,000 magic potions in his pocket, so there's really no reason to be stingy with it here, except for the time it takes to refill. Yeah, so no Samaria stress for Maniacal. I don't really have a sense of how hard those are because I've never actually tried it. Alright, we're in Phase 3. It's the old debate.
Ganon can stop warping anytime now. Because
Ganon wants to see how many spins he can bait out of you. Alright, let's get those, oh, Arrows and Ice Palace. Consolation prize for going to the wrong pendant dungeon. Nobody did, thankfully. But it does go to show that nobody was getting those. I am winning this race. Oh, ooh, you're in Ganon. Okay.
jeez,
That
Maniacal,
was
please.
a little scary. You can survive a hug on 7 heart blue mail, but it could still knock you in the pit, and also you'd miss the hit. Lost a little rhythm there, getting hit by that fire bat.
It's so hard to get the rhythm back sometimes. Once you lose it. At least for me it is.
He's got it back now, though. The rhythm is especially important in the Master Sword fight, because you're just at it for so long.
feel like a kid on a car trip. Is it over yet?
Is it over
Are we
yet?
there yet?
We'll get there when we get there. And we're there.
There we go. Phew. Well, GG's to both our runners.
So you're probably wondering what Maniacal's actual time is. It's 1:40:37 on the race time clock against Muffins 1:31:32. So that is less than 15-minute difference. It's nice to see people finish out races. I like to see more races get finished as the tournament goes on and people get more evenly matched. Because it's totally understandable to forfeit when you're like 30 minutes out. You're not in go mode yet. But we're seeing a lot more probably of these close races. Because this really did just come down to like who did what in what order. Both of them were playing pretty well.
Yeah, you really can't fault either one of them. Like, they didn't really mess up a lot of the glitches or anything like that. So...
And given the style C this was, like, Maniacal would have had a huge lead if the blippers were just in Pod or Eastern, because Muffins didn't have a sword. But it turns out that Muffins' routing worked out better for full clearing the game, because he did the Dark World in a single loop instead of 2 loops, among other things.
All right, I gotta run. I gotta get my kids to bed. But,
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
And thanks for doing the restream.
All right, that'll be it for me as well. I'm going to let the credits play out for Maniacal, and then we will head over to another streamer who is hopefully also playing a glitch mode, if I can find one.